Day 2 of Knowing and Growing. Well done if you've made it this far. Do keep going. If you haven't looked at the study, haven't looked at 1 Samuel chapter 2 yet, why don't you pause this video, go and do that, and then come and see what you make of what I made of it. Don't despise the day of small things. Isn't that what they say? Except the day that Hannah sings about was no small thing for her. Her song in chapter 2 verses 1 to 10 was all of the Lord's incredible rescue of her. It was a day when she was in an astonishing way keeping her vow to give her son to the Lord, to give her son to the Lord for his whole life, which seems extraordinary to me. But she sees the birth of this son as being a rescue. And so in verse 1 she uses the term deliverance. She says this is a deliverance from the Lord, the birth of this child. And she warns those who are self-reliant and self-centered. She says, look out. God knows what you're like. God knows your heart. And on the last day he will judge. Now the actions, the thoughts and the actions of these self-centered, selfish people in verse 3 that are being referred to, the words are plural. So the people who Hannah has in mind are people in general. But I can't imagine she didn't also think of Peninnah, her rival, her husband's other wife, the woman who had made her life so bitter. But she moves from the personal to the general, from the minor to the major, from the general to the global, if you like, as the song goes on from verses 4 to 8. And that song speaks of how God rules his world. Hannah's song is just her way of saying, look what the Lord has done for me. This is how he acts in his world. This is how he favours the downcast and the downtrodden. He raises the poor from the dust, the needy from the ash heap. He seats them with princes and they inherit a throne of honour. In other words, Hannah's saying, he's for people like me, the downcast and the rejected. He's on the side of those who know they need him. If you're feeling battered and bruised today, if you know you can't take it anymore, she is saying it is God's good pleasure to be on your side. And the end of the song, verses 9 and 10, move on from that general, this is how God works in the world, to the eternal. This is what it will be like when God returns. When his kingdom comes in all its fullness, at the end of all things, when God's king rules in entirety. So if you like, Hannah's experience is just a scale model of how things will be when God comes to judge the earth. Hannah's experience is like a dinky toy. Dinky toys are great fun. I don't know if you played with them. This is a fire engine and it's brilliant. I used to love brumming them around and when my son enjoyed them, I still enjoyed with him brumming them around. But here's the thing, as good as this dinky toy is, in the event of there being a fire, this is just a scale model. It's not as good as the real thing. So Hannah's experience of her deliverance, of the birth of Samuel, is just a scale model of how things will be when at the end of the earth God returns to judge the world. When he gives strength to his king, power to his anointed one. So let me challenge you today. Count your blessings. And as you count them, as you come to the Lord in humility, as you allow him to lift you, know that each mini rescue, each scale model that you experience, as good as they are and as thankful as you are for this, is just a foretaste of the massive rescue which God has achieved through the Lord Jesus Christ, and which he will achieve, which he will bring to completion when Jesus returns. So be thankful for those significant salvations, but use them as springboards, use them, if you like, as a catapult to throw you forward into thanksgiving for what Jesus has done. And that we can look forward all the more to our rescue being completed when the Lord exalts his King on the last day. It will be worth waiting for. Have a really good day, HPC.